please. Please. Open the curtain, please. We are introducing New York State Clean hand sanitizer made conveniently by the state of New York. This is a superior
answers to some of the most Googled questions on coronavirus. Symptoms of confirmed coronavirus cases can include fever, cough, shortness of breath. Symptoms may appear between 2 and 14 days after exposure. Symptoms of influenza cases can include fever or feeling feverish and chills, cough, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, muscle or body aches, headaches, fatigue, vomiting, or diarrhea. Influenza is different from a cold and often comes on suddenly. Both coronavirus and the flu can range from mild symptoms to severe illness and even death. Not much. Supply chain experts say there's no need to stockpile beyond the recommended 14-day emergency supply of food and necessities. But here are some basic supplies to keep at home for any emergency. A gallon of water per person per day, plus a little extra if you have pets. Canned and dry foods. Your favorite foods like chips or chocolate may be comforting too. Soap, hand sanitizer, laundry detergent, toilet paper, and diapers if needed. A 30-day supply of prescriptions and over
The FTSE 100 plummeted 8% in early trading to its lowest level in 3 years. And this comes after big falls in Asia, with Japan's Nikkei index down 5% and Australia's markets down by 7%. Now, compounding these losses are fears of an oil price war, which saw crude collapse at one point by more than 30%. In Italy, the death toll from the virus has soared, leaping 133 in a day to 366. The country now has the highest number of cases outside China. And Saudi Arabia has just started to impose travel restrictions within the country, quarantining the city of Al-Khatif, and has announced it will impose fines of more than $130,000 on anyone who does not correctly declare their health status when they come into the country. There is one glimmer of hope, though, in this battle against the virus. The Chinese province of Hubei has had no new cases outside the city of Wuhan for the second day running. So let's take you live to Beijing and speak to our correspondent Stephen McDonald. Steve, proof then that these draconian measures implemented in China work.
Yeah, we have sort of two very different pictures here, if you like. We've got the global panic on stock markets, with people talking about an international recession following the coronavirus spreading here, there and everywhere. And on the other hand, we have a situation in China where, well, the emergency does seem to be plateauing if official figures are anything to go by. Now, I know some people will say those figures can't be relied on, they can't possibly catch all the cases. But nevertheless, let's assume in trend terms they're instructive. And what it would seem to suggest is that the problem has gone like this in Wuhan and is now coming down. And you look at the picture in the rest of the China, it's even more optimistic. I mean, if you take that one city of Wuhan out of the picture, and also people who are arriving in China from overseas, bringing the coronavirus with them, for the last 4 days in a row, we've had 0 extra coronavirus infections. Now, that would seem to suggest that that these measures being put in place in China, quite strict measures restricting people's movements, are working. Also, you know, you look at South Korea, the situation for the moment does seem to be also plateauing there. Now, people in other countries might take some hope from this, but that doesn't help them in the short term, because elsewhere, you know, as the coronavirus hits economy after economy, there is going to be some pain. And when you look at the markets, you know, I think the difference is those who are gambling, which is what it's all about, on the short term versus the long term. People can see there is going to be short term pain, although eventually, you know, this problem will be sorted out.
Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Steve McDonald there live for us in Beijing. Well, let's update you now on what is happening in Italy, because the government has said it will increase spending to offset the economic impact of the coronavirus in what the Prime Minister has described as shock therapy. That's after the death toll from the virus shot up by 133 on Sunday. The total number of infections has also increased dramatically. Strict measures have been introduced to reduce social interaction, especially in the northern regions, which are the worst affected areas. For more on those measures, I've been speaking to our correspondent Bethany Bell. She is in Bologna, which is just outside the affected area.
We're getting a few more details as to exactly what this partial lockdown means. We're told that people are not allowed to leave Lombardy or to enter Lombardy unless they have very important essential work